Washington, D.C., a city that often feels like a well-oiled machine, yet whose gears are shrouded in impenetrable fog. We, the average citizens, perceive a facade of elected officials making decisions, but beneath the polished surface, a labyrinth of power operates in the shadows. This unseen world dictates policy, shapes our futures, and frequently leaves us wondering, who truly runs the show here? It is a question that demands answers, and one that is increasingly urgent. Ramon Lobo, an adult male, finds himself, like many of us, increasingly perplexed by the political landscape. Ramon often feels his voice is lost amidst the cacophony of DC's complex machinery. He observes the endless debates, the legislative gridlock, and the seemingly arbitrary decisions, sensing an underlying current that steers outcomes beyond public comprehension. This frustration fuels a quiet determination to understand the forces at play, to unravel the intricate tapestry of influence. Lobbyists, in their essence, are intermediaries. They are the professional persuaders, navigating the intricate corridors of power to advocate for specific interests. Their job is to ensure that their clients' concerns are heard, understood, and ideally acted upon by lawmakers. It is a system designed for representation, yet one frequently criticized for its opaqueness. Sometimes, the line between advocacy and undue influence blurs into an almost imperceptible shade of gray. The sheer volume of money channeled into lobbying efforts is staggering. Billions of dollars are spent annually, painting a vivid picture of the stakes involved. This financial tide funds campaigns, influences public relations, and secures access, creating a powerful current that can redirect the legislative river. It's an investment strategy, certainly, but one whose dividends are paid in policy, not just profit, fundamentally altering the national agenda. When money speaks, policy often listens, leading to outcomes that can feel disconnected from public interest. Healthcare reform, environmental regulations, tax codes, these are not merely abstract concepts. They are the bedrock of our daily lives, and all are profoundly shaped by unseen hands. It's a subtle process, often imperceptible, until a piece of legislation suddenly appears seemingly out of nowhere, and its implications are truly unexpected. Ramon, still reeling from the abstract shock of recent policy shifts, finds himself attending a neighborhood council meeting, hoping for some grounding in local issues. The proceedings seem normal, until a representative from the National Association of Competitive Thumb Wrestlers presents their case for federal funding. The man, a well-dressed gentleman, concludes his impassioned plea by dramatically cracking all 10 knuckles in rapid succession, a sound that echoes strangely through the quiet room. The landscape of advocacy has diversified dramatically, moving far beyond the traditional corporate giants. Now, the lobbying firm of Whiskers and Widgets, LLC, exclusively represents the interests of domestic house cats and their preferred brand of motorized scratching posts. Their head advocate, a formidable woman in a leopard print power suit, frequently punctuates her arguments with a delicate yet persistent purring sound, a tactic she insists fosters cross-species legislative harmony. Ramon, observing these increasingly peculiar developments, begins to notice patterns. He starts compiling a dossier, a disorganized collection of newspaper clippings, half-eaten sticky notes, and cryptic doodles on coffee-stained napkins. He feels a growing conviction that these seemingly disparate anomalies are connected, hinting at a grander, more outlandish design. Ramon's initial weariness is slowly morphing into a genuine, if slightly bewildered, investigative zeal. The House Committee on Ephemeral Whimsy and Fanciful Constructs convenes its weekly session. Their agenda: to debate the federal allocation of glitter for state-sponsored fairy festivals, and to consider a new bill mandating all government buildings have at least one designated sparkle zone. The members, normally somber figures, now wear small yet noticeable iridescent feather boas over their suits, signaling their commitment to the committee's unique mission. Lobbying tactics have evolved, moving beyond mere persuasion to embrace the profoundly performative. One group, advocating for the rights of unused kitchen utensils, stages a silent, interpretive dance protest outside the Department of Commerce, each dancer adorned with a single gleaming spatula or whisk. Their whispering campaign involves them gently rustling dried basil leaves near open windows, believing the aroma will influence policymakers through subtle olfactory suggestion. The policies emerging from this new era of advocacy are unpredictably whimsical. The Federal Act for Mandatory Rainbow Distribution now requires all public fountains to emit water in perfectly calibrated rotating spectrums of color, whether architecturally feasible or not. Furthermore, a new directive mandates that all government-issued stationery must be made from sustainably sourced, glitter-infused recycled cloud material, leading to unusually fluffy memo pads. Ramon, now deeply entrenched in his self-appointed investigation, tries desperately to find a logical thread, a single rational explanation for the unfolding chaos. He paces his apartment, muttering to himself, surrounded by string and pushpins connecting photos of glitter-emitting fountains to images of spatula-wielding dancers. Every attempt to impose order only highlights the escalating absurdity, pushing him closer to a personal tipping point. The annual Gala of Gilded Gophers, Washington's premier influence event, is a spectacle to behold. This year's theme, Burrowing for Brilliance. Attendees, an eclectic mix of politicians and peculiar lobbyists, arrive in custom-designed burrow-themed attire, some even sporting small, functional shovels as accessories. The main course, an exquisitely prepared dish of sustainably harvested edible earthworms served with a garnish of microgreens, all to honor the Gophers' dedication to subterranean advocacy. Amidst the opulence of the gala, Ramon stumbles upon a hidden chamber, not a secret meeting room, but a meticulously constructed miniature hamster habitat. Inside, tiny, impeccably dressed hamsters operate miniature levers and pulleys, subtly directing legislative proposals displayed on tiny LED screens. It becomes horrifyingly clear. These adorable furry rodents are the true masterminds, the unseen forces pulling the strings, diligently ensuring their preferred brand of sunflower seeds remains federally subsidized. The revelation of the hamster overlords doesn't collapse the system, it merely explains its previously inexplicable Byzantine nature. The bureaucratic maze, now understood as a series of tunnels designed for tiny paws, becomes even more frustrating. Congressional documents are now printed in hamster sans serif, a font specifically designed for optimal rodent legibility, causing endless confusion for human interns attempting to decipher the minuscule type. Ramon, after witnessing the hamster overlords, finally grasps the true nature of Washington's power structure. It wasn't about money or influence in the way he understood it. It was about the ceaseless, unwavering demand for high-quality, organic Timothy hay and a ban on squeaky wheels after 8 p.m. He stares, dumbfounded, at his own reflection, realizing the entire political narrative he once believed was nothing more than a carefully orchestrated facade for rodent welfare. True to form, the legislative body, under the unseen direction, swiftly passes the Timothy Hay and Silent Wheels Act of 2026. This landmark bill, rushed through with unprecedented bipartisan support, mandates that all commercial pet stores prioritize organic Timothy hay over any other bedding, and that all exercise wheels for small rodents must operate at a whisper-quiet decibel level. The roll call vote echoed with an inexplicable chorus of tiny, contented squeaks. Across the nation, citizens awaken to a new normal. Pet stores, once a chaotic symphony of squeaky wheels, are now eerily silent, filled only with the rustling of premium Timothy hay. Ramon, standing in a local pet shop, observes a line of customers enthusiastically purchasing massive bales of the new, federally approved bedding. He realizes with a profound sense of resignation that humanity has, without question, fully embraced its new role as diligent caretakers. The cycle continues perpetually. New special interests will emerge, new legislative priorities will be set, and new, impossibly specific demands will be met. Today it is hamsters and hay. Tomorrow, perhaps, it will be guinea pigs advocating for federal funding of miniature labyrinth construction. The intricate dance of power and influence never truly ends. It merely evolves, adapting to the whims of its current and often surprising beneficiaries. So who really runs Washington? Perhaps it's not the shadowy cabals we imagine, nor the politicians we elect. Maybe it's merely the beneficiaries of the most persuasive, most persistent, and sometimes the most bewilderingly specific appeals. Washington, after all, is just a stage. The players, it seems, can come in all shapes and sizes, and their motivations are often far simpler and infinitely more profound than we could ever possibly imagine. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe for more, ring the bell and comment below. And remember, we report, you rationalize.